Cole, congratulations. Reece, you've had to sit and watch from the sidelines. How was that for a comeback?
No, it was great to be back out there, the team. It's been a long 5 months since I played. And I've been, waiting on this return for so long, so happy I could, make my comeback today and help the team.
Cole, how important was it to have a man like this back in the side to play a part at such a crucial point for you?
Yeah, of course, very important. Everyone knows how good he is, and he's our captain, Even when he's not been playing, he's been leading off the pitch, so to have him back on the pitch is even better. So yeah, we're really happy he's back.
Reece, did we see a Chelsea team that is clearly in good form, but also still learning?
No, of course. We learn every day, we're still young. And yeah, towards the back end of the season, we've had a few off days, but I think on a whole, we've improved and, we're coming strong towards the end of the season.
What about the young man alongside you and the part he's played? Came to Chelsea, nobody really knew, but what has he shown to people?
Who?
The young...
Oh, Cole. No, Cole is, one of the best in the world, I think, personally. You've seen what he can do when he gets his chance. At City, he probably didn't play as much as he wanted, and he came here and, he took the opportunity with both hands.
Cole, that's some praise, one of the best in the world. How does that make you feel, and how do you feel in this first season at Chelsea?
I won't go that far, but obviously it's nice to hear. But, I'm just keeping my feet on the ground, taking it as it comes. It's all new to me, My first season properly playing in the league, but obviously to come to Chelsea and to come to a group of lads that have welcomed me like this, it's been a pleasure.
How important was today's victory in that race for Europe that you're in with Manchester United and Newcastle? Yeah,
very important. The manager told us we needed to win, so we've won this one. Now it's focus onto the next one.
Reece, how important is it for Chelsea to be in European competition, especially also for this group of young players?
No, of course, competition is, Europe is, one of the highest levels in club football. And, we're one of the biggest clubs in club football as well. So we want to be pushing, each season to be, knocking on the door for Champions League.
And do you get a sense that it's all beginning to come together for Chelsea and looking forward, the future is very optimistic?
Yeah, for sure. Slowly but surely, we're finding our feet and, reaching a good level and staying consistent week in, week out.
Well, listen, well done to both of you. I think he thinks you're one of the best in the world, but you're certainly the player of the match, so well done, Cole. Reece, do the honours.
Okay, thank you.
Reece James and Cole Palmer there, and we're joined now by their boss, Mauricio Pochettino has joined us. Thanks very much, Mauricio, for taking the time to come and talk to us. Congratulations on the victory. What pleased you most about today's performance?
Well, I think in the way that we always believe until to the end, in football is until to the end is about to fight and give your best. Yeah, so pleased because I think also the player from the bench make a big impact, and yeah, so happy to recovery. I'm lucky that we are on the end of the season. It's only two games to play, but I think important for for them and important for the team to finish strong this season, to sink in the next one with the hope to be strong and start really well the season.
When you talk about the fact that there is only one game left for this season and the timing isn't great for Chelsea, is that because you're starting to see the progress of what you've been putting in place since the start of the season? Reece James just said there, we're young players, we're always learning. Are you starting to see those lessons take effect now?
Yes, I think if we are honest, I think we were punished for the 10 first games. I think that our performance was good, but we were not clinical in front of the goal, and we create too many chances, big chances. All the data told about to be in a different position, but we were not effective. But I think if we start to count after the victory of Tottenham, I think 25 or 26 games, I think we are in the top 4 and top 5, and I think the performance is really good. But the problem is that the first 10 games we didn't start well.
Mauricio, congratulations, it's Jamie Redknapp.
Thank you.
I want to talk about a couple of players that obviously you've had the luxury of using today, which you haven't had all season. Reece James, one of the best right backs. Obviously, we're so lucky to have him as a young English player, and obviously Nkunku. How hard has it been not to have those players, and how good is it to see them back and playing again? And I'm sure you'd love another 20 games with them now.
It's true, Jamie. I think I was thinking in that to wish, to have 20 games in front. And yeah, but that is a circumstance that we were living. But from now, I want to be positive. I think that is the most important thing, is to believe and really believe, because the player really believe in the way that we work, in the way that we apply the discipline and the rules. I think it's important, like I was talking before, Cole and Reece, about always the evolution of the young player. Always they need time, and it's true that for me, the second part of the season, I am so happy in the way that they evolve, even when the circumstances are not in our side. But I think it's about to be positive, is to finish well. Last season, I think Chelsea didn't finish well, and then that is also a problem. We need to finish really strong. I hope in a European competition, and start the pre-season and see the next season in a very good way.
Maurizio, Michael Dawson here.
Oh, Michael, how are you? Nice to see you.
Congratulations on your recent form. How proud are you of your team tonight after going 2-1 down, but then showing the resilience and then the quality to get the win that you need? And you've carried it on in recent weeks.
Yes, if you see, I think we struggle a little bit with this type of, games, with this type of opponent. And I think our record is not so good. And when we play again, teams like Tottenham, Liverpool or Manchester City, I think we don't feel this pressure, and we feel more freedom. But I think this young team need to live this type of moment, to realize how we need to compete, because it's not only to play well. If not, after, when you don't have the ball, I think you need to be available and to find your own motivation, to chasing players that maybe are not the big names like are in the big clubs. But I think it's about to be more mature. It's about to have that capacity to believe and to never give up. And I think the last few months, I think the team is showing this also. This capacity, to be strong in our mind and to be more mature, and that is so important for the future, and hope that we can continue in this way.
Mauricio, you talk about the future, you talk about the progress of this group of players, about the players that you have available now to you that have been injured at different stages of the season. You've made the headlines this week about some of the comments about your future at Chelsea. Do you want to clear up what your intention was behind those comments?
No, nothing in behind. The problem that after the headline are the headline, no. But I think in a conversation, that we were in between in the press conference with the journalists, I think it was a honest conversation, and yeah. But maybe I think it's depend of the circumstance. But to clarify, I think I don't need to clarify. I think if the owner are happy with my job or our job, I think we can continue. And I am always a coach that I think in long term. But in some question, through you, sometimes I can use different sentences in my answer. But only what I say, that in all the parts need to be happy to continue in a good way, to build a very good team to compete for big things. It's only I try to say that, and nothing in behind. It's still 1 year more contract, 1 year more in my contract. Yes, I am thinking to be here. It's not nothing wrong. And I say only, maybe you need to ask me. I said in the press conference, you need to ask me if I am happy or not happy, because here is someone is not happy, another is not happy, another is I don't know, the another is going to. But sometime you need to ask me, Mauricio, you are happy? That is only was that, nothing negative, all positive.
Yeah, sometimes the longer answer isn't quite what the headline says. Mauricio, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Pleasure to see you all.
Thank you very much, Mauricio.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Just pick up on that before we look at the team itself, because the comments, while they were accurately reported, maybe the context of them was slightly different, because what he was saying was, you don't just need to ask if the owners are going to keep me here. Maybe you want to ask if I'm happy here, or if the players. There are lots of factors that go into deciding whether a manager stays long term or not. And when you look at a club like Chelsea that has a history of changing managers, when you look at Mauricio Pochettino's career, when he's left clubs or been sacked or they've come to a mutual decision, you can understand why he's looking at a long-term future for himself that includes changeable factors.
Well, you've got to remember, Mauricio, when he went into a football club, I mean, the amount of players and turnovers they have there, and they were always going to improve what happened last season. It was a disastrous season, and this season hasn't been great till recent weeks. And I think with Mauricio getting asked that, it's a real surprise for me, because I think he's the right person when they took him in. I still think he's the right person to be in charge now to develop these young players. But you need time. You can't just be changing managers all the time. Look, I worked with Mauricio for a short period of time till he sold me, but that's another story.
So are we saying he's a good judge? So are we saying he's a good judge or not?
No, he's a good judge. He's a good judge, Kelly. But I just think he needs that time, and we're starting to see the team. And I saw Madueke play a pass last week for Nicholas Jackson against West Ham, and a few weeks ago I was criticising them as a team. They were anything but a team, but I think I'm starting to see that now. They go 2-1 behind at the City Ground. They've got the first away win in 3 months, and I think you just need to take this time. Owners need to calm down. I think with Mauricio there at Chelsea, I think next year they'll improve again.
Absolutely. I don't think sacking managers, certainly at this time, is the right thing to do. They've had Graham Potter and managers. Frank Lampard was there. It's not been easy to manage everything that's happened. When you get a group of players thrown at you and you've got to try and juggle and make a team out of it, it takes a lot of time. What I will say is, having spoken to Mauricio 2 weeks ago when they won against Tottenham, he was prickly. I sort of sensed he was a little bit angry. He probably doesn't feel that he's got the support of the owners. But I feel in this time, in this 2 weeks, there has been dialogue. That's the most upbeat I've seen him. He spoke about next season, about what's going to happen, having players available. So I genuinely think there has been dialogue that's been very positive for Mauricio. And I think next year he will be the manager by the look of it. And I think it would be crazy not to do that. I think you've got a lot of young players there that need a little bit of guidance, a bit of time. And I think he will... I certainly think he's the right man. I just don't think it's the answer to just go and change and chop and get another manager. If things don't start well next season, obviously you maybe start to look at it. But you can't give a manager a year. Managers need time. You look at what Arteta's had to do. It took 2 or 3 years before he established himself as the dominant figure in that dressing room. Now look, and he had a few struggles, power struggles with players, with people like Lacazette, Aubameyang. He won those struggles, and now he runs that club, runs that dressing room. And Mauricio might have to have that as well, and it will take time. But a big result from today wasn't vintage. It was a really good game, but I don't think it was a vintage Chelsea performance, not as good as some of the other ones, but it was one that they certainly needed. Let's have a look at the goals, Michael. Yep. Let's start with 1-0. I'll just have a look at something with you. The system, let's go for the system, Michael, that they played. Because obviously he played with a 5 at the back, 2 defensive midfield players, and a bit of what I would call a lopsided 3 in there with Callum Hudson-Odoi on the left, Morgan Gibbs-White as a number 10, although he's quite high there. And then a centre forward there. And this area was obviously a huge success for Chelsea earlier.
Yeah, and this was Chelsea in possession. That was Forest set up out of possession. Very, very good. But what I didn't understand in the first half, and they changed it in the second half, is Cucurella. I'm thinking, what are you going in there for? There's so much space here in the box that you've created. I'm thinking, just stay out. Because Forest always wanted to split the pitch in half, and you see where they're overloaded. So the space for Chelsea was down this left-hand side, and you see Cole Palmer in that 10 position.
Yeah, I mean, as a defender, now you play centre-back, would you be looking, there'll be alarm bells going, he's got a little, I don't really want him to get it on the half-turn here.
Well, this is the problem when you play a 3, and I played a 3 with Steve Bruce when I went to Hull. And that number 10, if you're not playing with an out-and-out 2, which Chelsea don't, and Cole Palmer, I mean, he just floats around. And when you've got that vision, and then he can deliver a pass, the weight and the accuracy, half-turn. Look, he's always scanning. He's scanned. He sees Mudryk there, and it's a great run by Mudryk.
And there is almost that like, he's got such good vision. He's already got a picture of what's happened. I think that Mudryk's such an interesting player because there's a lot that he can learn, because he possesses incredible pace, like a sprinter kind of pace. So any fullback, like Montiel didn't really want to go, because look at that distance there. There's, 10, 12 yards maybe between them. And once he's picked that ball up and he gets ahead of speed, it's almost impossible to stop because of the weight and the quality of the pass.
Yeah, I mean, and then that touch straight across Bolly, it gives him no chance. And when you go look back to Bolly, I said when you're playing right of a 3, could you have come a little bit closer to Montiel? But the run from Gallagher just makes him break his stride, and it's just the touch that gets in front from Mudryk that's a great finish.
Chelsea 1-0 up, and at that stage, Forest know they only need a point to make sure that they're safe, and they get themselves level in the game. And it's a goal from a set piece. Willy Bolly is so effective from set pieces.
Well, I think that's the area now I think we'll probably look at, Michael. Would that be correct? With Bolly and Jackson. Jackson doesn't do enough, does he? You know, in terms of just following his man. And Chelsea have been speaking this week about trying to get in a set piece coach, etc. They are getting a lot of problems from this area.
Chelsea are very comfortable. They've got 7 along the back line, and then Forest have only got 5, and that's with Chris Wood, and they make it 8 with Mudryk. And what instigates
they're
a big team. They're so comfortable. You think surely Forest are going to find it hard to get in. If you just play it on, Jamie, you see Chris Wood in the first initial one. Chelsea lose 2 players, go out the game.
So Chris Wood is here with number 11 with Cucurella. Yeah.
So Cucurella's obviously really concerned about Chris Wood breaking into the box. He then tries to stop him, but gets dragged out. And then Jackson, I'm not too sure what he does. He does absolutely nothing, and Bowley ends up being free. But you see Cucurella there. So Chris Wood just drags him a little bit. So they lose 2 players out of that back line. I mean, Nicholas Jackson has to do better. That cannot happen from a defensive point of view. But for Forest point of view,
stops, Michael.
Yeah,
you could get the best defensive coaches in the world. You could get set-piece coaches. If people don't do their job and take the responsibility of just following him, look, you can see that Jackson just stops.
Yeah.
I don't know if he thinks maybe that flight, could the keeper perhaps come and get it?
I don't think he thinks, that's a problem.
Stay with him, though,
yeah, for Chalobah it's really hard because Chalobah then takes a step in, but he has Murillo behind him, so he can do nothing. He's in no man's land, and he just glides in their ball. It's really, really easy. And I said at half-time it was a great goal for Nottingham Forest. It was an easy goal and so avoidable for Chelsea.
And then 2-1. And we spoke before the game about Callum Hudson-Odoi and how you have to, at all costs, not let him come onto his right foot. How difficult is that to stop when someone's in such good form?
Yeah, and I think it's the run from Nottingham Forest. I like this goal from Forest because, they want to play out, but Matt Sells here, he makes a decision. When you see Ola Aina, he's gone to the halfway line. He's your right wing-back. But if you look where Forest, the little touch from Morgan Gibbs-White there, great intricate playing between Alanga who just come on.
But I'm going to stop it here, yeah. How important, a couple of things I want to ask you, Michael, is one, this run by Toffolo.
Yeah.
This is a great run because that's maybe just going to give Gusto a bit of a problem.
Definitely.
And you can see Chalobah's got Wood behind him. Yeah. So you're one-on-one, but I'm thinking, I've got a problem here. Alarm bell's already ringing, but you know that he wants to get onto his right foot. Where are you looking at it thinking, could he do better, or is it nothing he can do?
It's so hard, Jimmy, I'll be honest, because you look, what Chalobah has to do, I think he has to help Gusto, because you know you're in trouble. Last week, what is Callum Hudson-Odoi thinking? I want to take it onto my right foot and I want to send it in that far post. So could Chalobah just have made the one step further to help him out? Sometimes, but the run from Toffolo just caused Gusto all kinds of problems because then he can just send him out. As soon as he does that run in behind Toffolo, it gives him a chance. And sometimes you say, defensively, just send him on his left foot. We've seen it week after week. What is Callum Hudson-Odoi good at? We know. Putting him on, shift it onto his right foot and bend it in that far post.
So if I look at that there, so Callum, he stood a great ball up for Morgan Gibbs-White. Remember when he had the header and then obviously Chris Wood missed the rebound. Is there a case where you could say to Gusto, just edge even further this way to make sure that he doesn't do that? And if he beats you down the line and stands the ball up, you go, OK.
We'll deal with it.
But you can't, after watching last week, the two goals against Sheffield, which they must have watched, well, you know what sort of player he is. I know he wouldn't have defended against him. Was he there last year? I can't remember. But, even the player you're up against, could you show him down the line at all costs?
I think you have to, Jamie. Overemphasise. Go on, you can beat me down the side, but you can't come inside. And I listened to Chris Wilder last week and he was going mad with Jayden Bogle because he knows what he's going to do then. Go on, overemphasise. If he has a shot from a tight angle, it's on his weaker left foot. And if he puts one in the stance from there, sometimes you hold your hands up. But it's too easy for Callum Hudson-Odoi.
But it's brilliant, though. I will say that because I've watched so many times when Mohamed Salah come into the Premier League and we go to, why don't defenders just get him down the line? Sometimes it's easier said than done. They just manage to have that gift to shift it to the left and hit it so early, bend it over your foot. It's hard to stop. And Callum right now is banging form. He's full of confidence. And that's the level that he's playing at. And he's got to keep it going. And I want to say to him, next season, you make sure you have a really good pre-season, look after yourself, but come back, show this form again. £5 million, he's an absolute steal. He's been brilliant this season, but make sure you come back and start like you finished.
And Raheem Sterling scored the Callum Hudson-Odoi goal. I thought this was trademarked. This is, but Raheem do it, so can I.
It can, and I think this one's even better. And the reason is because there's more Nottingham Forest players to beat. I mean, when it's 1v1 with Gusto, it's really, really hard. But I see here.
So sorry, Michael, to stop you. So they changed it a bit by then.
Yeah.
They took up a player which you feel is so influential in this team, in Yates, and they've gone with Morgan Gibbs-White. I think he's just in behind Cole Palmer there, number 10. And do you think that maybe made a bit of a difference as well?
Yeah, and then you see Anthony Elanga coming in, and I'm thinking, Ola. I played with Ola at Hull City, and he's so quick. And I'm saying again, go on, send him down the line, and you can run with Raheem Sterling because you're quick. As soon as he lets him inside, look, there's 4 players around that ball, and none of them get the block in. I just wondered if Ryan Yates was there, is where Morgan Gibbs-White was. Morgan Gibbs-White just hangs his leg out. Whether he would have been able to make a difference, I don't know. But as soon as you send it in, there has to be someone close to that ball.
Yeah.
You can't have a free shot from there because the quality of these players, Jamie, they'll put it right in the corner and give the keeper no chance.
Again, that, especially when you come off the bench, you're trying to make an impact. It was a fantastic goal. 3-2, and this is I've liked seeing this goal. This is a really good team goal. I think it shows you what Mauricio is trying to do there, and Caicedo's a really important player. Now, he's just playing, he's almost lending this ball to Gusto. He wants to get it back to him, and then he knows, because he's already got he can see this one, just right at the bottom of your screen, that's Reece James, that is going to make that third man run, which we call it. So he lends it, gets it set back. Now, first time into that space, can you do that ball? He can, and that is fantastic from Reece James. The keeper tries to read it, but the weight of the cross is just crying out to be headed into the net. Now, I think let's just we look at this from Nottingham Forest point of view. Reece James is with obviously Callum Hudson-Odoi there. They are pretty well matched up there. I would say to Callum, if anything, can you maybe stay with him? Toffolo can see there in his periphery that he's got Gusto. What they decide to do is probably the wrong thing, because instead of thinking, where's the third man run, they decide they both get attracted to Gusto. You can see it there, and then you leave Reece James all that time. It's almost like we forgot how good he is, because if you remembered, you wouldn't have let him have that space, and he just lifts a delicious cross.
I mean, it's a brilliant goal from Chelsea's point of view, but I'm sure Nuno and the players are looking. It's just that communication between Harry Toffolo and Callum Hudson-Odoi, but it happens in a split second. As soon as Harry Toffolo goes and steps into midfield on Gusto, and that ball goes back to Caicedo, and he puts the ball in that area, I mean, it's split seconds.
Yeah.
Take nothing away from the ball.
I mean, he's brave there. You don't know what he's jumping over there.
From Reece James, brilliant. Been out of the game for so long. And he just guides it into an area, and then for Nicholas Jackson. And you look at Matt Sells, I just think Matt Sells, the goalkeeper from Nottingham Forest, he just tries to gamble. But a great goal from Chelsea's point of view.
Yeah, Nottingham Forest